Hi everybody and welcome back to Dragon Eye Creations. If you're new here, my name is Laurel and I love to create. I create all kinds of things. One of those things is gnomes. And this month I have challenged myself to see how many gnomes can I show you in 1 month. And today we are on gnome number 11. And for this one I thought, you know, we all like to get ahead on our crafting for our seasonal crafting. So we're going to jump ahead to autumn. And I made a pumpkin pie gnome. He's a little of a different style than I usually make, but I am pretty happy with how he turned out. He is pretty sweet. He's just ready to be invited to dinner somewhere and bring his pie with him. So I'm going to show you guys right now how you can make your own pumpkin pie gnome with the pumpkin pie. Let's get started. I'm going to try my best to show you guys what we'll be using. So this is icing bags, DAP compound, aluminum foil, polymer clay nose and hands, some polymer clay, little tinfoil tart cup, 4-inch foam circle, a to-go cup from Wendy's, our fabric, a aluminum foil roller, 2 containers from Dollarama with the lids, some sand, some Easter eggs, and some wire. We're going to start by just gluing on our fabric to our to-go cup here. And we'll just make 1 strip down there and then some right along the top. And we're just going to roll that right onto our cup, about 1/2 inch down on the material. And just continue gluing and rolling, just worrying about the wide end of the cup there. Just worry about that part right now. So once we've got that last piece glued, we're going to just trim off the excess. And then we're going to hot glue and fold down all the top right inside the cup there. And then we're just going to take the extra material on the bottom part here and we're just going to do 2 pleats, 1 on each side right across from each other. And then I just took some aluminum foil and just kind of rolled it up, not real tight. I'm just going to kind of put it in this cup. I just want to make it a little more firm. So I just did 2 rolls of this, folding over the edge. It's a little wider at the bottom anyway. And then just filled it in with polyfill so that we didn't hear those things rattling around in there. That just makes it a little more sturdy. So for the 4-inch circle, what I had done, I just took the lid from the cup and traced around. So this is just some craft foam board that I cut the circle out in. And this is me covering it in fabric, but I realized after I didn't need to do this, so we're not going to really show that. So now taking this napkin that I got from the thrift store, and I'm just going to fold it right in half. And I'm going to decide how long I need his pants to be. So I ended up going with about 6 inches. And I just folded it in half there, and we're going to glue good side to good side. And then I put it back on the cup here, just to kind of measure out where I need the seams to be for his pant legs. Make sure it'll fit around him and still can be glued together. So once I figured that out, I opened up that seam that I had glued, and then I just cut a seam at the front to match that other seam. And then I'm going to fold back the top layer and just glue all around the edges there. And then we're going to glue this right back down. We're creating our pant legs now. And then we'll turn it right side out. They are pretty wide on the top right now, but we'll worry about that later. And now I'm just going to hot glue around the top of the cup, add our foam circle, press it down firmly. We want that to be really attached. And now I'm going to take my aluminum foil roll and I'm just going to find the middle of it. I'm just going to cut that right in half. And then I'm going to take these 2 plastic containers and we're going to start to make booties. Now you guys have seen me make booties lots of times, so I am going to go through this really fast. I will leave a link in the description to the other video describing how to make booties specifically. So we're just tracing around. This is just glued onto cardstock right now. And now we're just going to start covering it with fabric. I'm just using, this is a tablecloth that I got at the thrift store as well. I just loved the color, so I had to use it. Tacking down our front of our shoe there. For the back to wrap around it, I'm using some really fluffy minky. And I'm just going to glue down the edges to make it look nice. I did tack down the top a little bit and folded it in. And now this is some craft foam once again. It's got like a little, looks like shoe tread on the bottom, so I thought it was perfect for this. Just tacking it down and tucking it in. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the other shoe. Really quickly. Tacking it down. So then we put our full aluminum foil rollers into the boots. We're going to just hot glue those right in there, adding plenty of glue and just hold really firm. Plenty of glue, hold firm, making sure they're flat in there. And now we're going to take our sand and we're going to fill these little aluminum foil rolls about half full. So once we get them so they are about halfway full, we are going to take the plastic lids from our booties and glue those right onto the top. They fit on there just nice. It is just perfect. It's like they're made for them. But still lots of glue because we want those to be sealed. We don't want sand coming out of him. Gonna just cut off those little tabs from the container lids. Add a little more glue around the lid just to really make sure it's sealed. And then we're gonna start putting our pants on, one leg at a time. Okay, now we're gonna fold down the top of the pants there. We're gonna put some glue right on top and center these as best you can. And just press firmly. I added a little stuffing down his pants just to even it all out so you don't see the ridge of the cup. Makes him have some chubbier legs too. Looks good. And then I just glued down the pants all the way around, kind of tacking it down a little bit here and there. And now we're just going to make some trim. So I just cut this long strip of this beautiful olive green minky fur, and I'm just going to tack down the edges on both sides so they meet in the middle, giving us a nice piece of trim to work with. So I'm just going to glue that down all the way around the bottom of his, what will be his jacket, and then just trim off the excess. For his arms, I'm using this foam wire. It's about 13 inches long is what I cut, and then I'm just going to make him a sleeve to go around it, using the wire itself to turn it right side out again. Just push it right through and you can fold it right in half then. And then with my scissors I'm going to cut just the fabric, and with the wire snips we'll cut the wire. And then we are going to attach our arms about 1.5 inches down from the bottom of the cup with just an X-Acto knife. Poke a hole into the cup, hot glue around the arm. Then we're going to push our sleeve on there and just hold it down, tacking it down all the way around. Same thing on the other side. Poke it into the hole, hot glue around, tack down the sleeve. Little E6000 on the end of the wire. We're going to poke that right into his hands. These are some polymer clay hands that I've made before. I'll leave a link for this as well. And they just poke right onto the wire with some E6000 hot glue around the outside. Then we're going to add some that same trim to the outside of that as well to help hold those hands in there too. Everything kind of helps hold everything together. And now for his hat. We are measuring to make sure it is big enough to go around him. And now I'm going to fold it in half and cut out our triangle shape. I like to make like a rounded edge triangle is what I usually call it. I don't know what you'd call it. And then we're going to take some of that same trim and just put it around the bottom of our hat, gluing the one side of our hat and folding it good side to good side, all the way down to the tip of his hat. And once you have that all nice and good, we're going to turn it right side out, putting it on him, and then we are going to cut out a 4-inch square of fur. This is our faux fur that we're just going to cut the backing of so we don't cut the actual fur. And now I'm just going to make kind of a heart shape almost. We're going to go with this guy, rounding out the top corner there. And then we're just going to hot glue that right to the top where his coat begins, basically. Sorry you can't see it, it's out of the camera view. I am adding a polymer clay nose with E6000 and hot glue right to the middle of his beard there. For his hat, we are going to finish it off with some trim along the top, the same trim. I did also put a little bit of polyfill inside of it, you can see here. And now we're going to just hot glue it right to the top of him, just over top of his arms. So next I am taking this little tinfoil tart cup and I am going to fill it with some aluminum foil. But I need that aluminum foil to be nice and flat on the top, and so it fits in there nice and snug. And once you get that figured out, we're going to pop it back out. And we are going to take this polymer clay that is a pumpkin color, and I'm going to flatten it out and make a circle to cover our piece of aluminum foil here. We don't want it to be completely flat because then it wouldn't look natural, so this method works pretty good doing it this way rather than rolling it out. Smoothing it out a bit though, we don't want it to be too lumpy and bumpy. Use something to help you if you need to, just to roll off those edges as well. Once you get it good and you know it'll fit, smooth out your edges again. We did add some bacon bond to that to make sure it's going to stick. And now I'm taking some more tan colored polymer clay and we are making a crust all the way around. Just smoothing it. Now we're going to make some little indents all the way around as well. And now I'm just going to dry brush it with some dark brown paint just right over it so it looks like it is baked. And it is ready to go at 130 degrees for 30 minutes into the oven. While that's baking, we're going to work on decorating his hat. And I just got these decorations from Dollarama. These are some little mini pine cones I had. I'm going to add those as well. A little velvet pumpkin that was in that same little package from Dollarama. We're just going to hot glue that right to him. I also had tacked down his pants at the bottom. Just hot glue those and kind of tack it down all the way around. And now it is all baked and cooled. So we're going to take our compound here and I'm going to put some of it into a cup. I'm going to add a little bit of white acrylic paint though, because I want it to be more of a pure white than this kind of grayish color it is. And now we're going to take these these icing bags I got from Dollarama, and I cut off the tip the way you're supposed to. I think it was a little too big, but I just made a little dollop right in the center and then 4 on the edge. I think I need some better tips for this next time I try it, but I am pretty happy with how it turned out still. So I'm just going to hot glue that right onto his arm, onto the fabric, not onto the polymer clay, because hot glue does not hold on polymer clay. So we glued it right onto his arm, and I also attached it to his coat. And that is it. So there he is, our little pumpkin pie gnome is all done and ready to go. He's so sweet. I love how he turned out. These are some of my favorite colors to work with, so it was pretty fun. So let me know in the comments what you think of this idea, and I'd love to hear from you guys. And please check back again soon because we'll have more gnome videos. Thanks for watching. Love to all.